Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hey everybody, Rob Novell here with the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Hey, I hope you had an amazing Christmas time with your family and friends, but most importantly, celebrating the birth of our Savior. I was able, this was a really neat thing for me. Let's just call it my favorite Christmas gift. Due to my schedule, it's hard for my entire family, my wife Jen and my kids Aaliyah and Trey. It's hard for us to all be in church together at the same time. I'm part-time at a church in Georgia, but when I'm there, I'm working. When I'm out evangelizing, they don't travel with me and go with me all the time. So, man, it was such an amazing, amazing gift to be able to sit on Christmas morning, on the birth of our Savior, on his birthday, to sit in church with my family. But, man, then after that, we just had an amazing day, just the four of us together, celebrating each other and loving on each other and just spending some family time together, opening gifts, doing the dinner thing, and just having a great day. So, I hope that you all did as well. And, man, we still got a week left to finish this year strong, and I'm excited about that. The sermon on Sunday, the pastor just brought a great word on the incomparable Jesus and who he is to our lives. And it just really challenged me with a week out just to finish strong and to look at things different, moving out of this year into a new year. 2023 is a week away. Fresh start. Time to make some of them promises that we break a week or 2 weeks in. But no, it's beginnings, new beginnings, and gives us just a time to focus on things and move forward. So super excited about that. And today's topic, we're dealing with confidence. And man, I no better word and better topic today. Man, this applies to our personal lives. It applies to our discipleship, and it definitely applies to our music and to our ministry. So we're going to talk on several things today. I want to give you some tips on how to be more confident. But you know what? Learning to be more confident can have a range of possible effects, so many possible effects on our lives. And again, on our discipleship and our music. In addition to helping you feel better about yourself and your ability, self-confidence can make your relationship stronger and make you more resilient to, here's the ugly word, stress. It's a word that we all face. Whether we want to admit it or not, we find ourselves in stressful situations. And a lot of times it is due to our insecurities. So I want to talk today about this word, confidence. And, you know, being confident in yourself, it just makes you feel good. That said, having self-confidence can also bring many additional benefits to your life, to your home, to your work, within relationships. It can help with better performance in what you do. Rather than waste time and energy worrying that you aren't good enough, you can devote your energy to your efforts if you approach it confidently. Healthier relationships, having self-confidence not only impacts how you feel, but others around you. If you're listening to this and you're a part of a group, your level of confidence and self-confidence affects the level of confidence of your entire group. It allows you to be open to trying new things. Man, I am one. I love thinking out of the box. I love doing different things. I love stretching. I'm a teacher. That's what we do. That's what I do. And just came out of recital season. And I was able to have a couple lessons actually after recitals with my students. And I love those lessons after the recitals because they enable us to talk about some things. Maybe in addition to how good maybe their performance went, it's a teachable moment. It allows us to talk about things that may have went wrong and what we can do build on that for the next time and for moving forward. But I stretch my students when it is recital time. I'm pushing them to try and things outside of the comfort zone, and I'm doing that long term to help with the level of confidence. A lot of times, my feedback to them in a weekly lesson leading up to the recital was, you know what? You've got the notes, you've got the timing. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to go back to the beginning, play that again, sing that again, but do it from a place of confidence. You know it. You've practiced. You've got it ready. Now, perform it that way. Let's hear it that way from a place of self-confidence. And then we said that word resilience earlier. Believing in yourself can enhance your resilience or ability to bounce back from any challenging adversities. Again, when we talk about how that recital performance went, it allows me to help them build off of maybe even a bad situation. It allows us to move forward and to build on things. So we have, in life, we have confident people, we have insecure people. I want to kind of read some lists that I've put together here. Confident people celebrate other people's success. Wow. We could spend the whole podcast on this. You know, I like to say it this way. Man, if you hate, you can't celebrate. How do you expect God to bless you with something in your life and you celebrate that if you're not ready to celebrate when something happens with someone else? Man, I see it so many times in our church world. Churches competing. I see it in Christian music. I see ministries trying to compete. You know what? Quit worrying about what somebody over there's doing. You do your thing, but you watch. When something good happens to someone in your circle, celebrate with them. Celebrate. Watch the doors begin to open for you, and watch this help you in this level of confidence in your life. If you can't celebrate for somebody, man, you can't celebrate for yourself. Confident people are also open-minded. Being open-minded means, you know what? It's not black and white. There can be some gray in there. It doesn't have to be this way or that way. It can be both. We can be open-minded more to things. It helps us to be more optimistic. Confidence allows us to be willing to take risks. Again, I like stretching my students. I do it to myself. I like taking risks. I like trying to do things that are outside of my comfort zone. It helps build up my confidence. Confident people are decisive. Man, if you're confident about your ministry, you're not going to sit there and wonder about putting your set list together. It's going to be real easy to know what songs that you need to do. Confident people are always learning and growing. If you are listening to this podcast, I'm going to go ahead and tag you a confident individual, because you are listening to this hoping to glean something, hoping to take something away from this that's going to make you better at what you do. So you're willing to be open, and you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow. Confident people admit their mistakes. They don't throw people under the bus. You know what? Rob will be the first to raise his hand and say, my bad, my mistake. Too many people in my life, in the circles of my life, have I been around. You're never going to hear them admit that they were wrong. They're going to tell you every reason, or try to even convince you of every reason why it's your problem and not theirs. So you've confident people admit mistakes. And then lastly, right off the heels of that, confident people accept responsibility. Once again, you're willing to raise your hand and say, that was me, my bad, I'll get it next time. On the opposite side of this, insecure people, they judge and are jealous of others. Man, we talked about that a while ago, with celebrating other people's successes. I've had so many conversations with people. Why does this happen to that person? Why is this ministry, why are their songs charting and mine aren't? Why are they getting the bookings that they're getting and I'm not? You know what? It's not about them. That's the thing we got to realize. We got to put other people aside. And you know what? Maybe we need to go back and with confident people, maybe there needs to be a little bit of selfishness, because I think the biggest thing in building your confidence is realizing it's not about other people. Now, it's also not all about you, but watch. If you put your focus on you and you worry about what you're doing and quit worrying about everybody else, it's going to A, build your confidence. B, I promise you it's going to open doors, because God, you're being faithful and obedient to the call on your life. If you walk out, you can't walk out someone else's ministry. You simply have to walk out your own. Insecure people are also closed-minded. You'll make a suggestion. I have brought things to the table, and it be absolutely the worst idea ever. 6 months goes by, that same person that I suggested something to comes with this idea. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? I remember me bringing that up 6 months ago. Insecure people are closed-minded. They're not willing to see the possibility in something. Man, I think there is room for anything to be effective and useful if it is approached the right way. I mean, let's just look at how Jesus ministered. We're talking mud, spit, donkeys. God works in mysterious ways. So if you're not willing to see how God maybe can move in a situation, how are you going to be able to see him move in your situation? Insecure people are pessimistic. Insecure people are afraid of change. Now, Rob is preaching at himself right now. I'm not good with that word. 2020 taught me to deal with this word. It taught us all to deal with change, because all of our lives changed in 2020. I like to say it this way. We were all in the same storm. We were just in different boats. We had to learn how to exit and evacuate the water that all of our boats were taking on that year. And in doing so, God really stretched me and helped me in this area of being afraid to change. Insecure people also hide their flaws. They wear masks. They hide behind fake smiles. We just came out of a season where, man, our masks were covered by masks. We had people that were trying to hide themselves being hidden because of the masks that we all had to wear through COVID. And man, life just got really, really challenging there for a while. So they hide their flaws. Insecure people are indecisive. They can't make a decision. They can't stick to something. They're going to bounce around from idea to idea. They act like they know it all. Have you ever met any people like that? If you don't, they're out there. If you don't believe me, just ask them and they'll let you know. I mean, there's people in my life I would love to grab a couple of them, put them in one of those, like police interrogation rooms, and with the glass mirror where you can go on the other side of the window and watch. And about every 10 minutes, just slide a new topic under the door on like a 3x5 index card, and then go back in that room and watch those two know-it-alls duke it out and try to win that conversation. Insecure people make excuses. No, I can't do that. Rob, I hear what you're saying, but I can't do that. That would never work. And here's why. Man, just, you know what? Have some confidence about yourself. Be willing to try some new things. Back to confidence. You're always learning and growing. Man, if you keep making excuses about why you're not doing something, obviously you're never going to get it done. And then finally on the list here, insecure people like to blame others. They act like know-it-alls, and they just simply want to blame others and never want to own up to the fact, hey, this is on me. So let's talk some things that I think can help you become more confident in, again, your life, your discipleship, your music, and your ministries. You can apply this however you need to accessorize this, whatever area of your life. Maybe this is going to hit the hardest or the most on. You know what? Take it. Apply it where it's most needed. All right. So first thing, stop comparing yourself to others. You're going to become more confident with what you do if you quit trying to do what everybody else does. Man, I've said this over and over and over. You know what? God only made one Sandy Patty. We went through, a season. I grew up in the Cleveland Church of God, and there's a program in the Church of God called Teen Talent. And my dad actually won the very first national teen talent that the Church of God held in 1962. He represented Virginia. He went to Memphis, Tennessee to Ellis Auditorium and performed in the first ever Church of God National Teen Talent. It was called Talent or Parades or something to that extent back in the day. And I've talked about it before. That moment was pivotal and is exact reason that 1962 Ellis Auditorium performance in the Church of God's first Teen Talent is why you're listening to me today. That event led to a phone call where James Blackwood hired my dad 2-3 weeks later after that. And Dad began working with the Blackwood organization in the Stamps Conservatory of Music at the time. And that is what over the years has turned into the Charles Novell School of Music. So Teen Talent in the 80s is when I participated. And Sandy Patty, huge in the 80s, right? So there was a female vocal category. And if there were 10 girls competing at the state level, let's say in Southern Ohio, where I was at the time, if there were 10 entries, 9 of them were going to be Sandy Patty songs. Everybody just thought, well, if she's the best, I've got to, there's the bar. I'm going to try to reach it. And you know what? Some of those weren't nowhere close to being Sandy Patty. So through the years, Rob has learned by the hard way at times to not try to be someone else, but to be Rob. That's who God created. Extremely proud to be a Novell and the son of Dr. Charles Novell. Man, I'm thankful for my upbringing, my history, my heritage. However, and I've shared this before, such a shadow growing up of everyone expecting me to be the next Charles Novell. And I tried to walk in those steps for a period of time in my life and talk about insecure. The confidence began to come when Rob decided, you know what, Rob is Rob. Rob needs to do what Rob is called to do and not worry about this other stuff, not worrying, trying to compare myself to someone else, just be myself. Second thing I want to talk about, surround yourself with positive people. Probably my biggest takeaway from having done what I've done my entire life. I've been in this, grew up in this school, started working with my dad in the recording studio when I was 13, started playing bass guitar on all of his projects. That led to me living my dream and traveling and being on the road and being involved in gospel music on a full-time basis and traveling in the bus and the group and the quartet and the awards and all that went with it. All came from being surrounded by positive people. And this is the biggest thing again, my biggest takeaway from all of this is I'm a sponge. Man, when I'm around someone that is more gifted at doing something than I am, I'm watching, I'm listening, I'm observing, I'm soaking it in, and I leave that situation a better person. I love going to Nashville, and I go to Nashville to record tracks for a project for a client. I'm producing, I'm the band leader, but I'm in a room full of amazing musicians. I walk out of there a better musician because of the time that I spend around those talented and positive people. So surround your life with positive people. I've preached a sermon before called Friend and Tory, and I'll say it this way. Look in your life, look in your circle. If the people that are in your circle in your life, if you can look 10 years down the road and see that you can still be with them and they have helped you get to where God needs you to go, hang on to those people. If you if you look 10 years down the road and there's no way those people will get you to where God is needing you to be, man, take friend to your life. Maybe time to do some hard spring cleaning right here in the middle of the winter and remove some things from your life. Third thing I want to talk about, be kind to yourself. This is an area that Rob has really had to work on and keeps working on. I am my own worst critic, and we all can tend to be that way. But here's the deal. There is a thin line between being constructive and deconstructive with your own criticism and critique on your own performance. I tend to be one to record things, to listen back. I've been in studio work 40 years, you all, since I was 13. I'm 53 now. That is 40. That math works, whatever school you learn math in. 53 minus 13 is 40. And I constantly hear, in the role that I'm in, engineering, producing, arranging, I am constantly hearing my work over and over and over through all the aspects of a recording project, from the charting and the arranging to the recording of the tracks to the vocals coming into the final mix to the mastering. I'm constantly hearing what I did, and too many times I go back and I'm like, okay, I can fix that. I can do this. I can do that. But it has to get to a point where, you know what, I've got to finally say, that's good enough. I accept it and move on, because if I'm not careful, that critiquing of myself, instead of being constructive, it crosses the line and becomes destructive. So be a little kinder to yourself and watch it boost your confidence. Confidence also, practicing self-talk. Encourage yourself. Say, you know what, Rob, that was good. You did good there. That was good. You took the high road there. Man, Rob, that was good. You could have done. So, just self-talk to yourself, encourage yourself. Negative self-talk on the other side of that can limit your abilities and lessen your self-confidence by convincing you subconsciously that you can't handle something. If you're constantly saying, man, this goes back to the comparing. You can never be them. You can never be that. You can never do that. Yeah, because that is negative self-talk. We want to replace that with positive self-talk in our life. The next one, face your fears. So many times I've been in a lesson with a student. I've been in conversation with someone, and I hear them say, here recently at a Christmas concert that I had to do, and I had done the concert. It was over. I'm at the product table. I'm talking, and someone said, you know what? I would love to do that. I've played my whole life, but I just play at home. I can't play in front of people. And man, when I heard that, the teacher hat went on, and I'm like, absolutely. You can play if you're putting that much time and effort in, you need to release that and allow that to encourage and uplift somebody. Man, God gives us talents and abilities not for us to just to sit on them and not use them. I think a lot of back to some of those negative and insecure things about why are they doing that and I'm not. You know what? Maybe because you're not willing to face your fears and to step out and to step into newer and bigger, new seasons, new levels, higher levels. Ask God specifically to prepare you for those. So when those opportunities come, you know what? You can face your fears and move forward. Next thing, do things that you're good at. Rob knows Rob's limitations. And back to Rob being Rob. Man, my big brother, Jeff Stice, I miss him so much, but I hear him speak to me almost on a daily basis, like my dad. And they both continue to encourage me because they spoke into me so deeply that even though they're not here, their love, their care, their concern, the tough love at times, sticks with me and keeps encouraging me to be me and to be obedient to what God has called Rob to do. Jeff would tell me, I remember at the music school one year, I had done my concert on a night, and we got done, and Jeff came up, and he was, man, Robbie, loved it. Great job. Good job, buddy. Hey, what were you playing? And I'm like, what? He's like, what were that? You did couple chords in the middle of this one song, and hey, come up here and show me. And he like grabs my arm and I'm like laughing. And he's like, no, seriously, come up here and show me what you played. And I'm like, Jeff, I can't, you're Jeff Stice. I can't teach you anything. And I'm like, man, you have forgot more than I'll ever know. And he's like, look, God has blessed you with something, and I'm not asking you for any other reason than I want you to show. I can't do that. That is not a gifting of mine. That's not an area that I really walk in, but it's something I want to do. You did it. You come up here and show me. Boy, put me in check. And I did. I went up there and gave Jeff Stice a piano lesson. And it was a weird, awkward moment. But my point is this. Do things that you're good at. Do what you do. Don't worry about being Sandy Patty or Charles Novell. You do you and watch your confidence grow. Next thing, know when to say no. Ouch. This is something that Rob is currently working on and will continue to work on. There are times that I have said yes to do something, and in saying yes, I had to operate a little bit more from a level of insecurity than confidence. Know when you should simply say no. I know a lot of times out of fear, we'll say yes because we're afraid, you know what, they asked me to do that. If I say no, they'll never ask me again. Now, there are all kinds of ways. We don't have time to get into it, but my point is this. Again, if you're doing things that you know you're good at, that is going to help you be able to say no from time to time. Last thing, set realistic goals for yourself. Within my practice, and I've mentioned this in some of our practice podcasts, which we're going to have more on practice coming out here shortly. It's vitally important. And we will setting some goals and things moving into a new year. We're going to be talking more on practice. But I've mentioned this. Within my practice, there are 3 areas that I'm constantly practicing. I'm always practicing my current set list, things that I'm doing as I go out and I minister. And then I am working on things that I probably won't stage for 6 months, new material, stuff that I have a high bar. It's got to get to a certain point before I will take it and stage it in front of people. The third area is I'm constantly working old things I've played for years and decades. And so there are 3 different levels of my practice. And within the new material, I am setting realistic goals of things that I know that I can do by a certain time frame. There are times that deadlines come up and there are things that I have to get accomplished by a certain date. Sometimes within that, I have to make sure that I'm setting realistic goals, because if I'm not, that date approaches, I get there. If I'm not confident about what I have planned to do, then it's going to affect the performance. So realistic goals, we're going to end there, because as we move into 2023, we're going to talk a lot about setting goals probably through the entire month and helping you map out things that are going to make you better at what you've been called to do, and truly make each day with this new information your best day yet. Thanks for tuning in today. You all be blessed. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.